the Polish West Open diamond and North. No, that's no, confusing the hand. Sorry. No. He opened a week two in hearts. That's how it was. Yeah, I think. Maybe I'm confusing the boards. Not quite sure. I've been out. Arrived 1 minute before you did, David. So, a little confused there.
No, you didn't. I was on site for about 10 minutes, but wondering what you were up to.
I was having a massage. It's, with 2 balls to go in the first match. And then, if I was lucky, I would back time for the second. And I was 1 or 2 minutes later. Well, it doesn't look too good for Declara here, does it? I mean, he can do club tricks if West wins this and switches to a club. Then it's done certain. Even without it, it looks down. His partner has a certain spade trick, but he doesn't know that. So maybe he's ducking this. If he is, then Levin will duck the spade all round next to West's now bare S. Some tricks. On the other hand, he must be able to see partner signal of the 2 of spades. One would assume that shows an odd number. Now this was definitely wrong. You see now Levin can get out for 1 down. But now he's going more down. You see, Abdel Fattah's hearts have been set up by Declara. Isn't that lovely? Now he ducked that. No, not even that. Wow, they have lots of tricks now. He should throw all his diamonds away, and they will take the rest. Isn't that right? Yes. Show all your diamonds away, and the contract is 5 down. Absolutely.
A little bit surprising Weinstein couldn't find the 5-3 spade fit. Not that it would have been successful, but his hand may well have no entries if they play no trumps.
Now Buckley blocked the clubs. It's not a pretty hand. I mean, everything was just wrong on this hand. You see? It was 5 down. And now we are back to 3, I think. How East will discard a diamond now.
Well, I don't know what range Levin showed. I know that he's got 19, but it's a very good 19, so presumably he'd count that as worth at least 20, maybe more. But I mean, it often get disappointing results when you've only got 3 points in the other hand, because you've got no communications to the weak hand.
Right. Now they defended poorly, and it's only time. At least West could have returned a diamond, but I suppose East echoed in clubs to say, "Well, I love clubs partner 8-4 Jack." So he played the club. So that was down to nothing makes in north-south direction. So not a lot in it.
Next hand is pretty similar with 20 ounce. Weinstein's got a bit more this time.
Yeah. Now 2-note trumps is in the 21, I believe. Let me get the card. You want me to get the card for the Egyptians instead, David?
Well, we can get it just by clicking on the name. Okay. Well, I'll get the Egyptian card, say, if I can get it by clicking on the names, and you get the American one.
Yes, you can. No problem at all. I have the American one now.
Right. The Egyptians are playing a fairly comprehensible system. 5-card major, 2 diamonds shows both majors, and they straight weak 2s.
Yes, I hate to say this. Not that 2-note trumps is 2021. Not that they play a strong note trump. I hate to say 2 diamonds is tension.
Ooh, goes down my spine.
So this is a spade race. Presumably a cubit. Some play that as a splinter bid. As soon as partner responds 1 spade, Levin was in game. And he felt he was too strong for 4 spades then, so bid 4 diamonds on the way.
So Weinstein's fully entitled to make this last train slam try, because he would have had to bid a spade without the ace-jack-10 of clubs and without the 5th spade. And basically he's trusting his partner. I mean, if you were playing with a pickup partner at the local club and they'd 4 diamonds, you wouldn't even look at your hand, you'd just bid 4 spades probably. But I mean, these people know that when their partner makes a slam try, they've got their bid. Of course, Levin had 1, 2, he had about 4 holes in his hand, but he did have the ace of the suit that had been opened. So, yeah. I suppose, yeah, if the king of hearts is on side, yeah, it's pretty close to a slam, isn't it?
Say you get the lead of the king of diamonds, how are you going to proceed from there? 3 rounds of trumps? Then you have to come to hand with club to the ace. But you don't have 5 heart tricks. East has a hard stop, you see.
Yeah, but you can get the diamond away and lose a club.
Yes, I suppose you can, yeah. That you can make slam if you are in it, yes. Egypt gained 2 imps on board. 1. They went forced. Better contract than 3, no. And went only 1 down. But if East-West ended accurately. They could have gained more. They had a 5 down at some point.
It's interesting how they got to 4 spades. Again, there was a 2-no trump opener, and South responded 3-no trumps. Maybe that shows the awkward shape, 5 spades and 4 hearts, and they would have had to bid 3 spades to transfer into 3-no trumps, if that's where they wanted to play. When you've got 4 spades and 5 hearts, it's simple enough to transfer into hearts and then bid the 4 card spades, but with 5 spades and 4 hearts, it's not so easy as well.
No, then it's better to play normal Stayman and the Smolen convention, if you have that. Some played 3 spades as showing exactly that pattern, 5 spades and 4 hearts. Anything can work, but it is important that you're able to show 5-4 with 5 spades and 4 hearts.
What, directly over the trumps is 5-4? Is that what?
Some say that, yes, I use so. We didn't have spades for anything. I mean, 3 hearts would show spades. So we agreed that 3 spades would show 5 spades and 4 hearts.
Well, it's pretty useful for minor suit hands, so that would be a close decision which way to use it.
Agreed. You have to give up something. Absolutely. It's a matter of frequency. Here's a very nice 5-diamond contract. But it can be defeated, as you see, because they have a hard rough. What about 3-no? Well, if they set up the clubs, then we don't have enough tricks, so no game makes East-West, I'm afraid.
So I'm expecting North maybe to pass here. I mean, it's not a very suit negative double, and 2 spades would carry the bidding too high. With a void in his partner's suit, he may not like it too much.
What about North-South? I'm asked. They don't have any points, but they're very close to making 4 spades, are they not? You have a spade to lose, you have a club to lose, and you have some problems, because you will need to be careful not playing too many trumps, because you need to ruff the 2 diamonds. Touch and go. Interesting board.
5 clubs is also interesting.
Declare only took 11 to 4 spades in the other room on board 2, so that was 1 impact to USA.
But why there's such a long delay? Because it's not such an unusual hand played by.
We were very unlucky with the operator, David, in the morning match. Were not there. Yeah, to play on a regular basis, and Bill and I had to guess, but we were good guessers. It helped, to be a bridge player, actually, how the player would have played the hand in real life.
What? It helps to be a bridge player to be able to commentate on BPO. Yes. Well, I must agree with you.
Yes, but you know what I mean. When sometimes the operators are not well bridge players, and they lose. It's not routine for them to see how declarer would play a hand. And then he clicks on the wrong card, and then he is lost it, because there are two tricks ahead of him by then.
Well, it's not for him to predict how the play is going to go, how the play's going to go. He just wants to make sure that he's close enough to see all the cards. And I'm not saying it's easy. Opposite is the truth. Very, very difficult. But surprising that East has gone to 3 hearts. I don't know about that. I mean, I would have just bid 2 hearts to show a good diamond raise. 3 hearts might be taken to be a splinter bid, really.
But maybe it is a splinter bid in spades, David. That would make sense, perhaps. I don't know. Maybe they play that. It is alerted.
Well, choice with singleton king, and on that sort of hand you'd be hoping you can get bind 3-no trump, so I wouldn't want to force the bidding up in diamonds. But anyway, see that they can play quite well in diamonds, as it happens, with 8 hearts between the hands.
Yes, at least they avoid the hard fit. That will happen at all tables, obviously. The South will open a heart. It's an opener for everyone, I'm sure. You have to be extremely conservative not to open that hand.
But does he not have to lead a spade to beat 5 diamonds?
Yeah, 8 of clubs is not good. That's true. But let's see if he leads a trump. Yeah, then the contract is a make. That's right.
Yes, he sets up a spade to get rid of a heart.
I'm asked if the double was for the black suits. Not necessarily clubs, but definitely spades.
Well, that's a pretty good auction, really. They've got 5 diamonds. Well done to them.
Yes, I agree. What will Levin do here? He's the one who's thinking. East has bit his hand, so he's thinking, what can I do now? Now, void in part of the suit isn't ideal.
Can't do anything, surely. I mean, he might.
No.
Not even a double. I mean, he might double because of the void heart, hoping for the best, but to bid something would be outrageous.
I think he'll lead a spade, David, and then they will defeat it. Here we have it. Well, of course. Why doesn't partner lead a heart suit you open? There can only be one reason for it. He doesn't have any. So it shouldn't be too difficult for Weinstein here to switch to a heart.
No, if only because he doesn't have anything else that's attractive.
Partner actually has the ace of clubs. club doesn't stand up, so he needs the ace of hearts to cash a trick, to cash anyway to defeat the contract. So he might as well cash the ace of hearts here. Or if he's certain that no heart lead means void in hearts, then he can play a low hearts. But what would he get? This is just logical, isn't it? Partner encouraged clubs, but Weinstein knows that it's down on a hard continuation, so even if partner has the ace of clubs, it's right to continue hearts, in case declarer is voiding clubs. So one down here. In the other room, north-south are in 5 spades doubled. I don't know the auction, but I know that 5 spades should go down on a lead, diamond lead. Interesting.
See that, well, I mean, Levin and Weinstein ended with a good board because they had that rough. But I mean, I'm sure some players are going to bid 2 spades on the north hand rather than make a negative double. I mean, negative doubles work fine when you've got 4 or 5 cards, but if you've got a 6-5-2 suitor, your partner's not likely to bid one of those suits. He's going to for a 4-card suit. Sometimes better slightly.
Have a correction?
That's right.
Sorry, to the contract in the other before you earn 5 spades double, but now they enter 3. That is interrupting.
No. Or why not? You've got, and then West trumps to 4 trumps 3 hearts.
You could place a 4 card. That's another agreement.
So Levin now knows that his partner's short in spades, so his hand is a very good raise of hearts, and he's showing that with the Q-bid of 3 spades, just like West's 3 heart bid. It says nothing about any control you may hold in the suit you bid, just shows that you're bidding on high cards, you're raising for high cards rather than 4 trumps and a weak hand, for example.
On board 3, 6 clubs went 1 down doubled for hundreds, USA and 5 imps. West going to bid 4 spades. One would assume that he has shown his hand already with 3 hearts. So 4 it is. So what do we have here? Well, it looks fine, doesn't it? You can afford to lose 3 clubs even, because you can ruff a diamond in the short hand, and you'll probably take a double finesse in clubs if you have the entries, and make an overtrick. And I think
Yes. Well, in a way, is hoping for a sort of interesting competitive bidding board. It's fizzled a bit low. I mean, in theory, in 4 spades can go 500 down if they find the diamond ruff and make a club trick as well, so it might go 500 down. But we can see that 5 hearts is pretty good.
So worth noting the double finesse in clubs for only 2 losers. Percentage play is to play to, well, there's even an elimination, is there not? Yes, with hearts 2-1. Diamond to the king now. Diamond to the ace. Ruff a diamond. But now you ruff. But now you can't do everything. He's down to 10 tricks now. He will lose.
Yes.
Clubs.
Well, he may have played it differently if he was 5, of course.
Did he really play it like this? So, I mean, he couldn't go down. So why didn't he play a club early from the dummy, while he still had all the entries? Little strange, I would say.
Maybe he can place West with the ace of clubs now because East didn't accept the game try. And so he's looking for some sort of town that's for his 3 heart sound raise bid.
Yes, he lost 3 clubs. Wasn't really necessary. So the combination is interesting in the sense that the percentage play for only 2 losers is, if you have the entries, of course, is low to the 9 and then finesse the other. Playing for either queen or in the east and or both.
So now East has the option of rebidding maybe 1 no trump or 2 clubs. Either bid would be fine.
But Levin in the way here, so presumably shows the minors, although East opened 1 club. How short can 1 club be, David, for Egypt?
It can be a doubleton. I don't think it is vulnerable against Nod. He's not likely to win the auction. And he can guess that partner's got long spades really when neither of them has bid spades on the first 2 rounds, and he's got a void.
You think East asked what 1 no trump was? Because if he had, would he still bid 2 clubs?
Well, certainly should have done, and that's his screen mate, North and East are together.
They are, and of course he was alerted, uh, but maybe he didn't bother. Maybe he thought it showed the other two suits. Would you bid 2 clubs if you knew that North had the minors? Probably 5-5, vulnerable at pastime.
It would rather depend on whether you were a madman or not.
Now East-West will take over occasionally, eventually. I mean, and where will they end up? 4 hearts or 3 no? 3 no by West is really where you want to be, I suppose.
They do play support doubles, so 2 clubs will get 3-card heart support. Doesn't seem unreasonable for West to bid 3 no trumps now. If he's looking to bring in the heart suit, he may decide to finesse the 10 of hearts after the 1 no trump bid, showing length in the minors, although maybe the spade void will have shown itself before he has to play on hearts.
Yeah. North will likely lead a diamond. Declarer will go up with dummies queen. And North is pretty much marked with the 8 clubs. So, with hearts breaking and all that, 3 no trumps should be an easy make. 5 hearts, a diamond, 6, 2 spades, 8, and a club 9.
I don't think it can be Weinstein thinking what to do. I mean, he may or may not want to bid 2 diamonds, but he is facing a hand, so there's not much point in it. He's probably passed, and we're waiting for West to decide.
Well, I don't know what 2 diamonds will accomplish. You don't want partner to bid no trump.
No, 2 spades is a very sensible effort, yeah. It's the second time he's decided not to show any support for the hearts. The first one, 2 clubs denied a support double, and now he doesn't bid hearts now, which he could have done on, say, a double sonona. Shows his values in spades.
Yeah, but isn't there a risk that West takes this as natural? I mean, East was unable to bid spades over 1 no trump if he had a suit. Why can't he be 6-4? The 6 clubs and 4 spades?
Well, it's possible, but not very likely. I mean, he's been forced to bid, hasn't he? If he doesn't have a 2 heart bid and he's got values in spades, that seems reasonable. His partner could have bid 2, was looking for a spade fit. On the face of it, it doesn't seem the right moment to play in a 4-3 spade fit. Quite absurd after an unusual no trump bid, of course. You can see that West is worried about bidding 3 no trumps, because if he's only got one diamond stopper, it doesn't look that clear that he'll be able to run 9 tricks. I mean, he's looking at 5 hearts, maybe he's assuming, and the king of diamonds is 6. Partner's clubs are not going to bring in many tricks with an unusual no trump over there, and the same in spades with the spades sitting over partner's honour. But he has still got pretty decent hand, 13 points, so looks like he should just shrug his shoulders and bid 3 no trumps at some stage. There's more reason to think of playing in hearts rather than spades. Even though you've only got 7 of them, at least you've got a really solid holding. Yeah, he's bid 3 spades, that's okay. I think his partner should bid 3 no trumps now, is it? I think that's okay. Yeah,
Yes.
well done.
Well, it turns out to be okay. But really, you want West to declare 3 no trumps. You don't want a diamond through.
It's right, yeah. But I mean, West has refused to bid no trump, so they've done. He did as well as he could. I quite like the way he bid the hand. And it was a pretty thoughtful auction by 2 players trying their best. I was quite impressed by it.
Country is still making, if you play for the ace of clubs to be with North. And your king of diamonds is still protected. With hearts coming in, you have the 9 tricks I counted earlier.
Yes, I still think he's likely to finesse the 10 of hearts because the diamonds are guarded with North on lead. And it's entirely possible that North has 2 hearts, 1 or 2.
Yes. But what if hearts had been 5-1 with a singleton jack? Then you don't have all the heart tricks anyway. I was thinking if you should play to the ace first, then a spade or a club up, and then perhaps take the finesse later. How about that? That's also okay.
Very strange card.
Very. Well, North can't really have Queen 10x in spades. It's impossible. Once he is followed to 1 heart.
Well, nor can he entertain any hopes of running the jack of spades. It's just into the dangerous hand, completely inexplicable card that's probably going to be undone very shortly.
Well, he just goes up with the ace now. I suppose he has seen the light. So he is going to play a hard now, and the only question is, what will he do? We can see it doesn't matter. North even
Well, no.
discarded a heart because he knows that they are coming in.
Yeah, it's much closer now. One's been discarded too, yes. Well, Kibitzers are telling me he led the jack because he still thought that won no trumps, spades and diamonds, and was hoping he might pin a singleton 10. But I mean, that shouldn't happen at this level. Bermuda Bowl final, you can ask what won no trump means. In fact, I thought it was normal for the player who made it to scribble out an explanation.
But he doesn't have to do that unless asked to. I mean, he's going to alert his left-hand opponent, of course, and say, this is not natural. And then if East doesn't bother, then he doesn't have to write anything. Maybe East isn't interested in knowing. Apparently he didn't ask, because remember, David, we talked about 2 clubs. I mean, would anyone bid 2 clubs if you knew that North had 5 of them? So he was under the impression that North had diamonds and spades all along. The 2 club bid and the jack of spades.
Yes, I think there was nothing much in it whether he finessed the 10 or not, because going up would at least pick up. No, so he'd played 2 already. Well, yeah. Yes, at the other table, North did not come in with 1 no trump. I mean, I don't think that was a particularly good bid. It's with the void spade, it's a bit questionable. So it went a club, a heart, 2 clubs, and West then bid 2 diamonds, which is known as 3rd suit forcing. A lot of people play that the same as 4th suit forcing when you make the cheapest bid after a rebid of the opener suit. East bid 2 no trumps with the some sort of stoppers in spades and diamonds, and West bid 3 no trumps, so they played it that way round. And got a spade lead.
Yeah. So that's how he made an overtree. Is that 2 diamonds, 3rd suit forcing bid? Is that the Berg relay, David? I don't play it.
Yes, that's one name for it. It's pretty good, and a lot of people play it, but they don't all call it the Burke relay. But something I did do a book I did with Tim Burke many years ago. Can't remember what it was. Alcohol for tournament players or something. It's pretty out of date now. But anyway, that's where it was first named as the Burke relay. It's quite a popular method at that time in Australia. I don't know if he invented it or not. In the old days, two diamonds would have been non-forcing, so it had to be natural. Then people began to realise that facing a rebid of a suit, it was better to play it as forcing for one round. New suit wouldn't be forcing facing a 1-no trump rebid. And from there it was a short step to saying that it could be used artificially as a way of developing various hands. Because if it goes a club, a heart, 2 clubs, and you bid 3 hearts, for many people that's the game try with about 10 or 11 points and a good 6-card heart suit. So if you've got a game forcing hand with good hearts and you're not playing strong jump shifts like in the old days, it's not so easy to develop such hands. People have to invent bids all the time, so it works quite well to actually reserve that bid to show all these strong hands. Set up a game force.
Yeah, we missed the continuation here, which is, well, really, we knew Declarer would be the club up. Nice trick, but we see it frequently, I'm afraid. Now, what about here? 4 spades, a decent contract for North-South.
It's tricky for South. He's a little bit light, isn't he, in terms of overall values, but with 6 cards in the other major and at this score, I think he's going to risk 3 spades.
Yeah, he can take 12 tricks as the cards lie, even with spades 3-1.
Yes, if he does, Levin will make a slam try of 4 hearts, no doubt.
Can he? Can he? Let's see. King of clubs, ace. No. I don't think he can on a club lead. No. Now 4 diamonds, natural, obviously, unless they play non-leaping Michaels, but we can see that they don't. Then 4 diamonds would show diamonds and spades. In the other room, South opened 2 spades. East passed.
Gosh, why did he pass? Can he not find some sort of bid? Who is East at the other table?
Well, who do you think he is when I tell you that Meckwell not playing? Your guess now, David.
Well, I don't know. Everyone's very good, aren't they, in this team?
Yeah, Nickel is a very conservative player, so he decided to pass.
Well, I mean, you can bid a weak 2 at least. If that's not good enough for your vulnerable 3 bid, then 2 hearts is okay. I mean, 3 hearts did cause them quite a problem here. They've landed on their feet, even though Weinstein very reasonably decided he didn't have enough to bid 3 spades, but on other lies of the cards, 3 hearts could have done some real damage. If you give them an absolute free run at the other table, then you're lucky to end up with flat boards. Would you have bid 3 spades at favourable in second seat, Roland? It's a close decision, I think.
I don't think I would, David. My partner would expect more. It is true that if 3 hearts is a 7-card suit, and that's likely, Val against not, then my partner doesn't have many hearts, and there's a chance that we have some fit in 8. But I think I'm a little light for 3 spades.
Sure, if West had raised to 4 hearts on some different hand, pass, he'd have been in with 4 spades then, knowing that his partner was short in hearts, and fair chance that was a good sacrifice.
Yeah, I think 3 hearts is a bit much with that hand. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 loses, well against not. But then again, if you don't like to open a week with 7 cards, then you have to pass or bid 3 hearts. That choice, I prefer.
The risk of opening 3 hearts is not that you're going to end up in it. It's likely it would have to go past all, and then the hand over you leaves it. If your partner is expecting a vulnerable 3 bid, that he's going to put you to game on some flimsy 10 count full of good cards. So the main purpose of preempts is to up the nose of the opponents, really, not to bid constructively on your hands.
But I know it makes it difficult for the opponents if they have the cards. I understand that. Now, if partner has the cards, I mean, it's impossible for him to judge if you have 8 losers for your 3 heart opening. How is he supposed to know that? That he needs about 5 tricks for you to raise?
Well, he doesn't need 5 tricks if he's got a heart fit. So West is likely to open up here, and North will wrong again. Gosh, how many people are going to pass in this field? Anyway, may work out well for him.
Well, I would understand pass if you had been 5, 3, 3, 2 and 11, but certainly not with 5, 4. 2, I mean, 8 and 2 kings. I mean, this is perfect for 1 hearts.
Oh, something awful's happened, Roland.
Yeah, don't look. Don't look. I'll be back in 10 minutes. Don't look. You better explain what it means. I'm not going to. I'm never going to use the word. Remember to tell the audience what Reese thought about that opening?
Well, he didn't have very strong views on it. He just thought it was the worst bidding convention in the whole world, wasting a valuable opening bid for a distribution that caused no problems whatsoever in constructive natural bidding. That was his opinion. That's all he had to say on it. But the only thing that makes me slightly in two minds are there are some very good American players who play it, much to my amazement. Of course, I mean, they can give lots of sample hands where it works well when you open two diamonds, but you're assigning a bid which some people make an incredible amount of use with, like the multi, for example, just for some shape that is really going to cause you a problem. Anyway, there we go. As for opening on the west hand, of course it would be less attractive if he was 5-3-3-2. But if you move a club to the diamond suit, as most people would open here, they've been opening 4-4-3-2 11 counts. As for 5-4-2-2 with an ace and two kings, it's very strange.
Yeah.
But he has picked a wonderful moment, of course, because they've ended in hearts.
And a club is the best lead, and that's really what you should lead from that hand when you have trump length. Lead from your longest side suit. And I don't care if it tell me, well, you shouldn't lead away from a king. You should, with a hand like this.
Why, you think that you want to force declarer? But I mean, that may just help him to make a lot of his trumps.
How many trumps can he have when you're looking at 5?
Well, he won't mind making his lowest trumps anyway if he gets forced there. He's only got to make 8 tricks in total. If he makes 5 trump tricks, he's getting close.
But the thing is, if you lead passive diamond, declarer, you see, that declarer gets a club away on the queen of diamonds.
Yeah, I know. Well, we're doing it double dummy, aren't we? We're trying to work out what is the best lead. I don't see what's wrong with the diamond lead. Just because partner happens to have the queen here.
No, looks in good shape if he catches the queen of diamonds now. I'm asked by a spectator here, David, what would East do if West did open one heart and North passes? Obviously North will pass, will one heart. What should East do? Well, he should just bid a spade. Because he's not good enough to bid 2 diamonds.
No, with a void heart, he should err towards underbidding. So even if he was slightly stronger and might normally have opened on that, responded on that strength 2 diamonds intending to go on with 2 spades, he'd be less inclined to do that with a void heart, as his and he's actually got. I mean, some people respond to spade even they got 13, 14 points and 5 diamonds, which I never understand, but anyway, Certainly see lots of players doing that at all levels of the game. Suppose East had that sort of shape and 14 points. If it went a heart, a spade, two hearts, he'd have to bid 3 diamonds now, having bid spades first, and that's not very good. It's much better to bid a heart, 2 diamonds, 2 hearts, 2 spades, showing longer diamonds and shorter spades. How is that sequence played in Scandinavia, Roland? Because the guy who runs the expert bidding panel in England, he tells me that everyone plays that game forcing now. I've never played it any more than game try values to bid 2 diamonds and 2 spades.
Sorry, I missed the auction, David. Say it again, please.
It's 1 heart, 2 diamonds, playing ACOL type, 2 heart rebid, and now responder bids again with 2 spades.
Yes.
Game forcing or just forcing for 1 round?
It's game forcing.
Well, it never was in English ACOL anyway. Of course now a lot of people play 2 diamonds forcing to game anyway, and that tends to force up the strength of the 2 diamond response even if you don't play it game forcing. So I suppose they're saying if it's strong anyway and then you come again, then you're moving up from 10, 11 points to 13. But of course in ACOL a 2-level response could be lighter than in North America.
Many would open in third with the East cards. Maybe not 1 diamond, maybe 1 heart. But since you have the singles and spades, you have the spades anyway, so maybe it's better to pass. But I know many would open. And if you open, I think it's better to open 1 heart in third, even if it promises 5. Yes, 2 clubs,
Yes.
Mr. Drury.
So now East does wish that he'd opened a heart, because that's the sort of opening lead that he thinks will work well. Not that it is going to work particularly well, maybe, on this actual hand. Oh, I don't know, it would sort of force. You probably would open match points because it's the stop over tricks or 2 spades or where they happen to end. So it's worth taking a risk. There can be half a top at stake just for taking 1 more trick in defence. If you don't open a heart, you may find your partner leading the Jack of clubs, for example. Since West has a double turn, East can hold up his ace of clubs if he wants to give him a rough on the second round. But he's expecting that the lead will be from Jack 10-9, no doubt. It's unlikely to be from King Jack 10 though, so looks like he can afford to hold up the ace. It's not going to be a singleton Jack of clubs, is it? That would give South 6 clubs. So I think hold up the ace might be a good move.
Yes. Again, I don't agree with the lead. Sorry. When I have trump length, I want to try to force declarer. When I have force, he hadn't opened a heart. He hadn't here.
declarer is facing a 4-1 break, but at least the 10 comes down, which brings dummy's 9 up in strength. So doesn't have any losers in the red suits. Looks like he'll just lose the 2 aces if East plays his ace of clubs now. If he doesn't, they can hold it to 10 tricks with a ruff in clubs.
Another reason for not leading a club is the partner had the opportunity to dot 2 clubs, the artificial 2 clubs. He didn't. So I wouldn't lead a club. So USA piling on the imps here. Six more imps on board number 7. Well, this could be another swing actually. This is not easy to play on a hard lead. It's actually extremely difficult to make it on a hard lead.
Yes, the 2 black aces force out, and he's going to be forced twice more, it seems, in hearts. So you can afford to lose 2 aces and 1 trump trick, 1 extra trump trick.
Ten easy tricks here. King of diamonds is on. Clubs are high. 10 tricks. That happens at the other table.
I'm told they led the Jack of Hearts at the other table, so that's good in a way, but it does mean they've used up one of their heart honours. I suppose it's still okay with King Queen over the 10-9.
Yes. So much to do in 4 spades on a hard lead with spade 4-1, because you have to lead towards your clubs twice. So I think it's very difficult to make on a hard lead. It is possible that you can make it,
You'll be pleased to hear that East did open one heart at the other table, and that's the same player who didn't like to open the King Jack 10 to 7 hearts on the previous hand, or a hand or two ago.
But can you follow me when I suggest one heart with that hand?
Yes, yes, yeah. Well, we saw a bit like that yesterday from Mextroth and Rodway, King Jack 4th, I think.
So this is
So I take it,
of course, it's past one cup. Well, the operator will realize it eventually. Just such a pity, really. I mean, he hasn't realized it now. And in a second, East-West will be in 3-no trumps instead of... Three-no is actually interesting. Play south on a diamond or a spade lead. Ups diamonds and a spade. So he needs to build a 9th trick from somewhere. Can't be in spades, as we see, with both honours off. Can be in hearts if he guesses them. But, you know, 3-no may go down. West may lead a heart, of course, and then it's easy. But on a diamond lead or a spade lead, it's not clear-cut.
however, at least possible that we're not give the player at all because he won't have time to get the card pin.
Well, only now did he realise it. Right. Pass one club, pass 3 clubs, pass.
So how many clubs does South promise? You've got their card up, haven't you?
2. I mean 3. 3, sorry. 3. Yeah. It has when you jump to 3 with 5. So now it's interesting. This is a good lead.
If you just look at the diamond suit on its own, maybe you should see your last chance to score if the lead is from Queen Jack. If the lead is from Queen 9 and you lay low and the Jack or Queen comes up, it doesn't really help you because you've only got 2 tricks then. So it's completely open if you and the Jack or Queen continue down, may have more time for your
Now we can see that he can make it by force. He can't. To build a heart trick, and that the King of Hearts must be his 9th trick. I think he'll go after Spain. Now, it's a straightforward double finesse, right? 75%. Find West with either the Queen or the King or both.
Can he make it if East has the ace or queen of... He's tried to... Yes, I see. Well, he tried the 10, and that means that they can play diamonds from either side. Had he played low, it would be more attractive to go after the hearts, perhaps.
Yeah. Do they play reverse attitude, David? East-West?
On their own suits, they do play reverse attitude, yes. Discarding, it says IND. What does that mean?
IND. Haven't seen that before. Here's the link to running scores, and you just decide if you want to have the Bermuda Bowl up, or the Venice Cup, or the Dorsey Trophy, or all three, one after the other.
If I take a look at that, is that going to kill the Egyptian scorecard for me? What's your guess?
No, my guess is no, it won't. West should discard the spade here. But he's certainly not going after spades because he's in the wrong hand. Well, he doesn't have to be. He can let the 6 of clubs hold, and then take spade finesse. If he does that, he's on his way down. Yep. So he is going to play a spade. He can still make it, but now he has to guess hearts. Diamond back from Backley. Nice king. Why is that particularly nice? If you're known to always play the king when you have king, queen, it doesn't mean a thing.
Right,
Now
now there is no guess there, because if he's got ace of hearts and a dime anyway.
yeah, you have to go up. I agree. He must go up. Because if West has the ace, as David said, he knows he's down, because West has the last one.
I put a hand like that in a book for fairly novice players, and it was knocked out of... Oh, goodness me.
That is just wrong, isn't it? That's a blind spot, really.
Yeah. Anyway, they said I couldn't possibly put in that hand because it was much too difficult for the intended audience. I mean, I took it out. I don't know. That's fine. They know what sort of level they want it at. But it wasn't very difficult, really. You've got to play West front, ace or the queen, and you know the winner. So if he's got the ace, you can't make it. So you go out with the king. But chosen the wrong moment to say that when one of the top players in the world has apparently missed the inference.
Indeed, he should have kept on his head. That would have been much better. I mean, then he can continue it when he was second spade and set up his spade winner with the ace of hearts. But that was a mistake. Right. One spade. Nice to hit. Partner opening one spade, and we are looking at 6 cards of board. And a nice hand with a singleton and an ace. They can't make in Islam. I know that. Can't even make game. Isn't that amazing? What can East-West make in a club contract or heart contract? Heart, spade, club. Maybe East-West can make 4 hearts. They're not going to play there because Levin is going to these 4 spades.
Well, you see again how the doubleton lead is going to work this time, and to lead from King Jack 9x will be a disaster because De Clara's got ace and queen. So you can't just tell which leads are good just by looking at 1 or 2 particular hands. A lot of people hate leading from Jack double-tick. They've only 1 trump. So you may find some people leading a heart and North is really miles too good to bid 4 spades, so I expect he'll bid 4 clubs. It's a fair enough hand to show the splinter when you've got 6 trumps, even though it's single king.
I like to play some trumps as a splinter, 9 to 11, singleton, somewhere. 4 clubs for me would be a void. The advantage is, partner interested in Middleton, he just bid 4 spades, and we haven't revealed anything about where my singleton is. If he's interested, he can ask for it with 4 clubs. Partner isn't always interested in a singleton. He's always interested if you have a void. So I think that's a very
see that the Denmark Open team have picked up a bit, and they're more or less level with England, and both those currently being one of the squads down the bottom for 13 VP. So halfway through, but the gap above the gap going up to winners, and one team in 8th, with a lot of hoping then occupy that last qualifying place. There's a way to go, of course, but I mean, teams like England and Denmark have really got to try and pile on a big number when they are vastly some teams down the bottom. So that's what Roland was mentioning. There's interest in a slam. If 3 no trumps did show an unspecified singleton, South had to offer it. If he wanted to know, he could have bid 4 clubs, and there are still 3 bids available for North to make to show this.
Yes. And before someone now do you show a club singleton? It's easy. 4 clubs inquires, right? 4 diamonds shows a diamond singleton, 4 hearts heart singleton, and 4 spades a club singleton. You use the same after heart. The 3 spades shows another 3 no trumps now asking, and you can show all of them. What do you do if you avoid in spades? If partner opens 3 hearts, 1 heart, you bid 3 no trumps. Spade, void.
General idea about splinter bids is that you should be showing a hand in a very narrow range. Roland mentioned that he treats it at about 9 to 11. You shouldn't bid a splinter bid with 4 parties, maybe signs off, and then you think, well, I don't know, this is quite a good hand, and perhaps I should bid backward, or perhaps I should make a cue bid. When you use so much space up with your splinter, you must give the message such that you've said your lot, you've described the total value of your hand within a narrow band, and you're willing to live with what partner decides.
Yep, go back to board 8. The heart lead in the other room meant that the 10 more imps to
Well, declare clubs actually at on the heart. He leaned from allowed to stand, then he crossed over and led towards the king 10 and finessed. So he's held up his ace twice. That was good defence. Because normally if you lead from king queen 10 from your hand, you lead the queen he led. He's to take his ace more readily than West. So ducking twice meant that they scored 2 club tricks.
I'm asked again about the 3 no trump bid by North. It shows 9 to 11 with an unspecified singleton. With the hand South had, he wasn't interested because there couldn't be a slam if partner had clubs, diamond, heart, didn't matter. Opposite 9-11, so he just bid 4 spades, and no one knew where the singleton was in the north hand, and that's why it's a very good method. I reckon it's not difficult. I recommend that you play it, as David said, as limited to 9-11. If you're stronger, go through Jacobi or the like.
Yes. Well, I just played through board 8, and it seems that it wasn't the force that that defeated it, because although they were able to force the king of trumps from the south hand, dame is 9, still higher than West's remaining trump. It was the fact that they managed to con-declare into losing to clubs that got it off.
But the hand in now Sack giving North a hand where he jumps to 3-note trumps with a singleton diamond, and then you have a slam on. But that hand is too good. It's much better than 9-11.
Well, the hand he's giving is for the opener.
Oh, for the opener, but then he could have asked for the singleton if he had been interested.
Yes, but he was replying to another commentator who had suggested that you wouldn't need to make a splinter bid if you were playing a strong system. And he's saying yes you would, because on this minimum hand you'd have a cold slam.
Okay, sorry, that makes sense. Sure. Let's see. 1 hard, 1 note, 2 clubs. That looks like plus promising plus if they play gut silly. It's a bit light for that. Now 3 hearts, 60 plus hand. Some play it as one suitor, some play it as hearts and clubs. Depends on agreement. He has hearts and clubs.
Well, that's pretty good auction for their methods, isn't it? 4 hearts is a fair spot. I'm being asked why South didn't respond to spade, but I mean a lot of good players will raise a spade on 3-card support, and that wouldn't be a very comfortable contract, so I don't see. 1-no trump looks okay to me when you've got kings in both liners. Oh, I see. Oh dear. Well, I'm also being reminded that because North-South are playing the unmentionable F convention, that North is unlikely to have 4 spades, so therefore South doesn't show a 4-card spade suit, which some people claim is an advantage of the F method. Not with me it's not, because I mean you might want to play in 3-no trumps, so it would help you if South showed his spades when North wins spades and trumps was right. Anyway, that's the reason, yes. It's an offshoot of the awful convention. So I suppose we have to concede, Roland, that that's one small aspect of the F convention be worth something. If you don't put a spade on 4, then a heart of spade promises 5 with that straight away without having to use support doubles if West happens to come in. So something.
I realize that. So you bypass 4 spades as responder, and that may come as a surprise, of course, and they may lead a spade because they don't know whether you have 4 spades or not, say against a no contract, and a spade is what you may need for your contract. So yeah, I can see that.
Well, and where Weinstein surprised us by making a play in hearts to go off in 3-no trumps. They didn't find that play at the other table, so that's 10 imps to Egypt. So England now 16 VPs against the bottom team, and Denmark had nearly 15 against the bottom team, with the board still to go. So they're doing their best to take advantage of it and narrow into the precious qualifying places. There still are a lot of matches to play, aren't there? We've got to remember that.
Not going so well for the Danish women anymore. They have been in the lead for 2 or 3 days, but this morning, not by a lot, but they lost, and now they're being hammered by Italy, so they're down to 4 now.
Well, the really important thing is to qualify. That's it. The difference between 8th and 9th is huge. The difference between 2nd and 6th is a bit, but you get some sort of rights of opponents, but the top 8 teams are all going to be pretty able squads. So key thing is to get into the top 8.
Oh, absolutely. In the quarterfinals, anything can happen. I agree. But as you say, David, I mean, you don't really want to finish 7 or 8 if you can avoid it, because then the team finishing first will probably pick you as their opponents, and they may live to regret it, of course.
Well, I remember when South Africa were not too pleased to finish 8th because mighty Italy chose them. But then, them a quarter-final, their greatest moment.
Yes, South Africa had a strong team then.
Including one of your cricketing friends?
Yes. Tim Cope. He's English. He lived half of his life in England, and now half of his life in South Africa. He's a cricket freak. But that's great, because when I'm traveling again in December, he has already organized tickets for the second test, South Africa, England, in Cape Town. That's his hometown.
Yeah, he was a regular at the Young Chelsea London when stuff. Got a question, why is America allowed to play with teams? Well, it used to be because they had so many more members than other countries. I mean, it didn't really be allowed just because the team's incredibly strong. The USA could field half a dozen teams that would do themselves justice in this quality of field. You can think of it in terms of America being almost a whole continent. Imagine if Europe joined up one day and became a single country, the United States of Europe. We'd be a bit annoyed if the whole of Europe was only allowed one team in the Bermuda Bowl. A lot of people don't think Europe gets enough anyway, and you see that France are leading the field when they finished ninth in the European Championship as backing for that. So I've never been one to complain about America having a team, so that's okay by me.
Yeah. Will Levin get in here? Yep. They have a diamond fit, not a hard fit, but it may
Pretty.
still well. It's not so bad to be in two hearts.
It's a very dangerous bid at match points. I'm surprised. I mean, at match points you might risk it, but in the Bermuda Bowl playing in, I don't think.
Well, you have three hard spade losers, so you can restrict the number of hard losers to 2. You're home with it's odd. But you must 3 hearts, right? So I don't think you can make it. Well, any ideas where I can find the F convention? Google brings up nothing. F for some.
Oh,
Yes.
careful, Roland. Yes, look.
David say it and spell it. I never take that word into my mouth. I'm sorry. David can do it.
Well, it's the equivalent of people mentioning one of Shakespeare's plays, which is very, very unlucky. So nobody ever mentions that by name. No, I don't think I can go as far as spelling it, but if I give them a clue that it begins with FL and then the first vowel in the alphabet, and maybe they can find it if they do that. Just say bidding convention, FL, and the first vowel.
I'm told that it has been deleted from Google completely. Well, excellent, because I sent them a letter half a year ago. So that's great. Did they really do that? Fine.
How did you persuade them to do that? You just said it was very dangerous for young children to play that convention, did you?
I did. I did.
Well, if you really want to know, you can click on Levin and look at his convention card, and it'll probably be mentioned by 2 diamonds.
Yes. It is there. Look at alongside 2 diamonds, you'll see what it is, and the name is there, and I can't believe that you can't Google it. Of course I didn't write anything. Of course it must be there. I don't believe it. And it is confirmed now that it is there. Wikipedia has it.
Is it possible from Google to get direct access to the famous list of the world's 10 worst conventions that a well-known BBO commentator constructed?
I don't think so. I haven't tried. Who knows?
Well, it's up to you to put it up. You could have a personal reading of the list and explaining why they're hopeless and stick that on YouTube.
Yes, I know what it's called on Google, but I just don't want to mention the word. We told you how to find it. Click on either Weinstein or Levin and look there and see what 2 diamonds means for them, and you have the name of the convention.
But if you start playing it, don't say we didn't warn you, because it's on Roland's list as well as Terence Reese's list as the #1 worst convention. So your results are certain to plummet.
Yeah, it's a little worse than the G convention. The G is #2 on my list, obviously. It's bad, but maybe not as bad as the F.
There must be a huge gap between those 2 and the 3rd worst. I don't know how you measure, what units you use to measure such a big gap. Nautical miles or something?
Yeah, if you really want to know, CAP is #3 on my list, and the Americans play it, but it's just useless. Capoletti, defense to 1-0 Trump.
Well, I just happened to have picked up a book by Mr. Cap and was looking at it over the last few days, and he certainly recommends using the convention which is #2 in your list on some auctions, when I was rather amazed about it.
Okay, just tells you that the CAP convention is not so good either. It's fine if people want to play it. Excellent. I know Weinstein and Levin love convention. Well, it's fine. Uh, and, and you know, they're my friends in real life, and we have a lot of fun about it. So I can send you 3 or 4 pages if you like, Steve tells me. Thank you very much. But no. If CAP is no good, presumably Multilandy also is no good. No, no, that's excellent. Multilandy is excellent. Great. Same as Woolsey in America. Same convention, basically.
Well, John Cook says he made auctions in ILPA units. Do you know what that stands for, Roland?
No.
I had to ask him. It's imps lost per action. So how many imps are you going to use for each time you use it? Of course, that's not a very accurate measure because with some of these conventions you're losing a lot of imps because you're doing a bid for one that you could have used something else. So it's difficult sort of thing to measure. I mean, if you can't open weak 2s, for example, because you're making other uses of the 2 bids, and it's difficult to measure what the negative impact of not being able to do something is. Right. Well, we haven't had very much interesting action, have we, in the contracts recently? See if we get something better here. A club, a spade, 2 clubs, 2 spades, and now North makes a game try, having heard a single raise. He's got 5 loser hand, but not many points. How will South view his ace to 4 is quite helpful in hearts, but his hand overall is on the bottom end of strength for 2 spades, so he's got to see what those 2 features one add up to.
Yeah, but when your partner makes a help suit game try, you shouldn't really look at how many points you have. You should look at the suit where he needs help. Can you cover some of his losers? You can cover one. Is that enough? He might have bid 4, you know, if he had been vulnerable, but I think I'll agree with 3 here.
Right. Well, I don't quite agree. When the 2 spade has quite a wide range, so I would say that you do have to look at your point count as well. Of course, he's helping you, and if you've got something fabulous in there, like Ace Doubleton, then you might well bid even on a minimum. But basically, he's showing you the suit where his losers are, so that if you're neither minimum nor complete maximum, when you're going to make your decision on that basis, you can then look at what you've got in the suit. So I think if you've got a 5 count or a 9 count, you can't go completely on your hearts because the
Yes, game makes here, but it's a very bad game. Needs hearts to split 3-2 and the king spades on it. So that's 30%. Not good enough.
yes, and it's not going to be that easy perhaps to take 2 spade finesses. I suppose you might be able to get it done with the club.
Yes, West opened the bidding, so you may argue, well, he's a favorite to have the king of spades. Yes, but you could have it by cards. And not only that, I mean, it's not a certainty that he has. He could have the king of clubs instead. Yes. What about your third club? You see, you have to rough that also, right? So, not a game you would be proud to be in. So, no disc stay out.
Basically, I think they bid it very well. If Levin was just to say, I've got 5 loser partners given me, so I should bid 4 spades, that would be an overbid. Because, well, hunting depends how many losers he thinks he's got in clubs. I suppose he can say he knows from the opponent's bidding that partner's going to be short. But he only had 16 points. You can't. The loser count is a very rough guide. You can't just count losers the same if you've got 12 points or 7 points as well, and whether you've got aces instead of queens. And South knew that he had some sort of chance that it might be right to bid 4 with his good holding, but I think this bid well got to a very sensible answer. Whether they're going to gain points or lose points depends on how the opponent's cards lie.
Yep. North a little light for 3-no trumps here. 3-no trumps can be 16-17 because you have no room. He has 15, but he has a nice 5-card suit. 3 wrong. Sometimes you get doubled, and then you know that you are wrong.
Well, the trouble is when you do get doubled, you can go a lot off, so it's a fairly narrow target with 15 facing a passed hand. You know, the chance of making game is not that high, and you may find a lot of points sitting over you. Non-vulnerable preempts on your right and partner a passed hand. You might find a 17 count there. So that is a very close bid. Needs bravery to bid it, and a question of luck if he'll be rewarded.
Well, he just has a normal hard lead. He may choose the jack of spades. But he really wants to set up his heart. While you still have the king of diamonds. And heart lead. Good.
See that he's back to close with and spade, and then
Yeah.
beast couldn't possibly that would be true.
Which heart should you lead, David? Low or ace? On an auction like this?
Well, if you've got ace queen 10, then it's okay. Ace queen 10 empty, then you've got a guess. Got to worry about defenders will have 4. Okay. What would you have?
Same.
So he can be pretty sure the side. He's got a on the right. If he plays low, sees himself.
this will go a few down. Let's count for the defense.
Difficult to or enough to bid 3-no trumps, because the only way to do it would be to computer generate a whole bundle of hands where West's got a 3-club opener and see what happens when you bid 3-no trumps. Now, you can't easily get the computer to work that out for you, because you don't really know what East is going to do on certain hands, how often you're going to get doubled, that sort of thing. So it wouldn't be a lot of manpower. Maybe you wouldn't want to generate as many as 5,000 if you could get a computer to analyze, I'd say a couple of hundred, and then spend a few hours going through it and seeing whether you gained imps by bidding 3-no trumps. If you're slightly more shapely hand and you're not sure or something like that, then I mean some of the time it's not totally impossible that partner will reopen with a double if he's got a singleton club. This doesn't happen often enough to affect the overall prospects though. I'm being asked what time session today, Robert.
Yes. 6:30 a day.
Thanks. So he went up with the king, and in that situation West would be expected to give a count signal. Actually played 7-2, but
Yeah, I like the 8s. I played with Peter Lund. I must play the 7. Promising one higher, but I want to make it as I can, so with the 8. So I'm dealt 8. 3-2. And I certainly don't.
if you chip convention card, say what signals attitude, and then the third line, one and couldn't beat it, it's usually taken that you're weak in the suit, and partner is much more likely to want to know how cards you've got so he can judge if drop declarer's card. That's exactly the situation. But the third use would be suit preference. So if partner led an ace and dummy went down with a 7 in the sides, what attitude you had, because any further round could be roughed. It wouldn't want very clearly. So that's third preference, suit preference signal. So that's if you lead an ace and he goes down with a singleton, your partner will say which suit you should switch to, typically putting a high spot on to get you to switch to the higher of the suits. So that's why they've got 3 different rows, each on player's leads, on partner's leads, and when you're discarding, because you may want to use up to 3 preferences there.
And finishing with an uneventful 3-no trumps for north-south. Thanks, David. Let me just, before David says something, he usually does, when we get to the last board of the set, let me tell you that our next match, or next round rather, in about 14 minutes, 10 minutes to the hour, David covering France in the Bermuda bow. Over to you, David.
Front end, very interesting to watch, and with France well leading the field after just coming ninth in the European Championship, brought in as a reserve team. They've done very well, and I'm looking forward to seeing them for the first time. Also a vital match for England, who are trying somehow to get into the eight, so that'll be good. Right, now, who've we got to thank? We've got our view graph operator, some of the lads and girls doing it a bit difficult in this tournament, and quite a lot of complete. Lucky today, very, very well. So many thanks to him. We know that's a tiring job, difficult to spot all the cards, just like a couple of hours. SBO for providing this free service that so many people enjoy. We've had wonderful numbers of up to 3.5, so that's been a chance to watch these the world's top tournaments live. To Roland, we always get along very well, only the occasional disagreement, but that gives a bit of spark to the action, so that's why so many people tune in. Perhaps it is wonderful, or that we always agree with the other commentator. You know what bridge is like, people disagree all the time, and that's part of the fun of it. So let's see what's happening here.
Yeah, well, it requires time to set up the stage, no problems at all. So making it easily enough. Yes, versus England will be the attraction of the afternoon in Europe, and we could well get around 3,000 for that one, David.
Just saw that Levin was under to, of course, but you can see that if Backley's hand had gone down and been not that much fun playing in 3-no trumps. So basically, although you can say it's risky bidding 2-no trumps, there's one other thing that's risky. You just guess and go with the odds, and the better bidder you are, the more likely you know what's the right action in the long run, and you'll forgive when you happen to be wrong on a particular hand. Of course he will.
So looks like he will take 11 here. Should be flattish. So thanks everyone. Remember to be back 10 minutes to the hour. We hope you will choose France against England, and that you will be listening to us. Thank you very much, and goodbye for now.
Thanks for watching.